Hi, and very good morning to you. You're welcome, guys. Obviously, today is the 17th. You know what we do on the 17th. We take out the SD cards and, have a look at the latest magnetic North Pole position. As you may already see, we have moved 1.4 miles westerly. So we've broke loose of the pack. Hopefully this will be the trend for the next few months. Obviously we want to be seeing it tracking west towards the 40-degree mark down there on the left. Just to recap, over the last few months we've seen the magnetic North Pole come to a grinding halt, then it went backwards, come to a grinding halt again, then it started to move forwards. It's moved 1.4 miles in half a month. Now, if we'd have been taking our monthly readings now, that would be 2.8 miles, and that would be above the average distance over the same amount of time by 0.6 miles. So we're seeing a slight increase in the acceleration of the magnetic North Pole. It could be, like our theory suggests, that as it gets closer to 40-degree mark, we will see, as we are seeing, a slight increase in speed. At least now we know it's tracking west again, so it's took up its previous vector and is still moving towards central Russia. I want to zoom out so we can have a look at where all the pin marks since the 1900s has been tracking, and then a little bit later on in this video I'll show you why the magnetic North Pole is behaving in its current behavior and why it's tracking where it is. Because all these answers can be easily answered with a couple of diagrams, and you'll get to see why things are progressing. But I think we have to, like I suggested in the video yesterday, we have to not take these things for granted. Let's face it, after all, the last time our Earth went through a magnetic reversal was 780,000 years ago. The last time we went through a magnetic excursion, which is a failed reversal, was 12,000 years ago. Both these are very big numbers. So when we wake up in the morning, we go about our daily business, just bear in mind that in the background this is happening in our time. It's a big event. This anomaly is a rare anomaly. Even if it's an excursion, it's a rare anomaly. Last time 12,000 years ago, it so coincidentally falls in line with the time period was where we was just coming out of a glacial period. Maybe the two are linked, maybe not. I don't think that they are linked, glacial periods and interglacial periods with magnetic reversals. I've not seen that evidence. But it is a coincidence that the last time we came out of a glacial period that we find the magnetic poles were going through an excursion, a failed reversal. Let's think about this. We're over 500,000 years overdue a completed reversal. And when I showed you that chart yesterday of all the magnetic reversals going back over 5 million years, this is the longest period in that 5 million year block that we have spent trying to go through a reversal. So just bear that in mind, and that's why I thought it was relevant to talk about planets that are neighbouring ours that have gone through the same thing and no longer have magnetospheres, which protects the water and the atmosphere on their planets, because we just don't know at this point in time whether we are looking at a similar event. Whatever it was that triggered that event on Mars shows us one thing, that it's possible it could happen to not just Mars or Earth, but any other planet. So bear that in mind. This is a rare time that we're all in. Before we go any further, I want to just say, yesterday on the back of that video we had 10 people chip in a few bucks for our observatory, and that's unheard of. That's why I think it's worth mentioning it, and I think that these people deserve to be mentioned. So I'm going to do that right now. So big thanks to Charles, Anton, Anthony, JBM, Pearl, Jabba, JS, Mary, Carl, and Chris. Thank you so much, guys. And I'm sure that a lot of people around this world that are watching this video and the other videos will thank you as well. You know, you're doing your little bit, and you know, I'd love to encourage a few more people. You know, if you want your name shouted out in a video, if that's the least I can do, I would do that. If it encourages a few more people to chip in and support what we do here. Look, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not doing it for just a handful of people. You know, we've got 58,000 subscribers now on YouTube. We have over 20,000 visit the website. We don't raise, you know, a lot of money at all. You know, most times we scrimp and scrape with what we've got, but we push it as far as we can. You know, some of the components we buy are not cheap. Silicon photo multipliers, £120 each. That's just one component when we build a muon detector. But you know what, we don't have £7,000, £8,000 to buy a muon detector. That's why we print off the circuit boards ourselves, buy the individual components, build them and send them to, you know, good people that will support what we do and record the information. Guys like, you know, Jeff in Australia, Scott in Arizona, Kendall in Canada, you know, our superstars that look after our equipment. And hopefully at some point when we get round to it, we'll have Michael active in Colombia. You know, we'll get him out another magnetometer, because we had problems with that first one that we sent out. You know, it's time we got another one out there, so we'll be doing that. So I want to show you first of all where the magnetic North Pole is tracking. I also want to show you 3 charts which are relevant to what is going to be happening in not too distant future with regards to Russia. I'm sure you're going to be intrigued to know what that is, so but let's get on with it. Just before we back it out, for those that are following the pin marks on their own Google Earth, I'll give you the longitude and latitude. First of all, the latitude is 81 degrees by 59 hours 44 minutes 1 second north. By the longitude, 115 degrees 54 hours 56 minutes 5 seconds east. So we're going to back it out now, the video, so that you can see, you know, the pin marks going back to the 1900s. And as you can see, we've just cleared almost the North Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Whether that has had any effect on the magnetic North Pole migrating in recent months is not concluded. We don't know. But what you can see as we back out towards the 1900s, when the pole started to migrate, is, you know, it has followed a course westerly towards central Russia, and this is where it's going to end up. And we know this because we know what caused the magnetic North Pole to start migrating originally, and it is on that I want to show you 3 charts now, because I reckon Russia has got a lot of trouble to deal with in the near future, and I'm going to show you why that is. So let's get on with that. Now guys, you're not going to see any professor on this planet or any other scientist, whether it's a scientist specializing in climate or, you know, geomagnetics, they are not going to show you these 3 charts put together. For whatever reason that is, I am going to show you, and I'm going to explain why I'm going to show you these. And this is why you subscribe to this channel, because there are a lot of other people that talk about geomagnetics and climate, but they never put all the pieces together clearly so that you can see what is going on. We're going to do that for you today. So on the top left hand side, you've got temperature. Where it goes darker blue and purple are temperatures on our planet, which range from, you know, minus to minus 45 plus degrees Celsius, negative. So very cold regions, and it forms a specific pattern. And I've circled 2 regions, Canada and Russia, for a reason. On the top right hand side, we have the total intensity map. We're looking at the intensity of magnetism. We can see that there are 2 main regions over the northern hemisphere, Canada and Russia, which are the highest intensities, and then we have that one which is just creeping up on the South Peninsula of Australia down there in the lower right hand side. On the bottom left we have an image from Swarm showing the intensity. The darker red goes into the 60 nanoteslas range, or 60,000 microteslas. So the darker the red, the highest magnetic intensity. Now just take a look at the top left and the bottom left images. One's temperature, one's magnetism. Can you see something? Clearly, they're both showing the same pattern, aren't they? Yet they're both different things. One's temperature, one's in magnetic intensity. And this is why I say Russia's got a lot of trouble. I just want to say, and I've said this before, you know, over the northern and southern hemispheres we have three anomalies that take place. One is the rotational axis, which is fixed and hasn't moved. Two is the Arctic regions, and three is the magnetic poles. I believe with planetary mechanics that they are all linked in some way, and we have seen two of these behave in a similar fashion, i.e. the magnetic North Pole has migrated easterly and is taking that sub-zero or Arctic climate along with it. So when that magnetic pole eventually arrives in central Russia will be the new epicenter of the Arctic Circle. Now I know that the northern peninsula of Russia, Siberia, is already within the Arctic Circle in any case, but its epicenter will be in central Russia, the new Arctic Circle, and it will put Russia in a lot of trouble, because we'll be looking at that point in time permafrost that goes down at least 50 centimeters, half a meter, and for anything to grow in that region is going to be very difficult, and therefore the majority of Russia is going to go offline. They need to do something about this before it arrives. They will have already noticed the slowly ever increasing sub-zero temperatures during seasons where it is expected in any case. We know that the intensity is dropping off over Canada, and it's for that reason why the magnetic dipole in between Russia and Canada is where it is right now. I've showed this in experiments before where we've had two magnets and then we've put the compass in between, and it doesn't point at either of the main intensities, or in the experiment either of the magnets, it points directly in the middle, because there is a measurable amount of intensity between the two magnetic regions. It's no different on our planet. So as it weakens further Canada, the intensity, like we are seeing, you know, drop off and noticeably over a 7-year period, and increase in Russia, we know that that dipole will shift. And when it shifts, you can see where the arrows are on the left hand top side of the temperature chart. At the moment, in between where the magnetic North Pole is, further north of that arrow, we can see that that's a warmer region there. The only reason why it's warmer is because there's no major intensity in between the two. But when eventually the magnetic intensity over Canada dissipates to a point where it is no longer measurable with regards to holding a pole in between the two intensities of Russia and Canada, it will move that warmer region from where it is right now. Remember, there is no coincidence that when we look at temperature and we look at magnetic intensities, both on the top left and the bottom left of this image that we're looking at right now, there is no coincidence. What we're seeing is, you know, planetary mechanics operate on a scale that is not quite widely understood, and that's why no other professor, no other scientist, whether they're into the fields of geomagnetics or climate, are going to put these two together like I have for you. But there is no coincidence whatsoever. We know exactly what is happening, and we here at this observatory over the last decade, I believe, have strided forward than anybody else in this field. And that's why we can present this information to you. You won't get this information anywhere else, trust me. I guess that's why, you know, we do have, you know, very intelligent people look at what we provide here for you guys, and that is what encourages them to support us, because they know that this isn't made up. This is based on scientific facts. You know, here at this observatory, we have a trimag system that measures every 3 seconds that magnetic North Pole position. You know, we can monitor it at a resolution of every 3 seconds. And we've got equipment now in various parts of the world. That's why people, you know, support what we're doing, because it could be, for some people, life-saving information. It could be financially, although we're not financial advisors, I will state that, but you know, it could be saving them financially big time in the near future. That's why people follow us. Guys, I want to mention the link down there. You know, we had 10 people yesterday chipping a few bucks. You know, when you compare that with 12,000 people that viewed the video, and you know, we have 20,000 people view our information that we provide on the website. It's a very small number, but I'm still grateful for those people. You know, without you guys, I wouldn't be able to be doing what I'm doing now and showing you what I'm showing you now. And trust me, the value in what I'm showing you now, you can't put a price on it. But I can guarantee you this: you won't find the information anywhere else on the entire internet or any other platform such as YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, whatever you call it. You won't find it anywhere else, only here. We're trying to help our fellow brother and sisters in this world, because we're all on this world together, you know that. We're all living here. We all share something in common. It's the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the planet in which we all reside on. You know, I try my hardest to tell people, don't take these things for granted, because when we look at planets like Mars that have lost their atmosphere because the magnetosphere dissipated, because the core solidified, you know, shut down the magneto. You know, once the atmosphere was stripped away by solar erosion and, you know, intergalactic erosion or outergalactic erosion, you know, eventually it began picking on its water on its surface. And, you know, we know it had water on its surface because when we look at the terraform, we can see the valleys that have been carved there over thousands of years. We know from studying our Earth that these things take that amount of time. So we know a lot of information today. You know, we're probably ahead of the game on a lot of other organisations. You know, we're putting, you know, information together for you so that you can see it firsthand here at this observatory. So we're putting in a big effort for you guys. It'd be awesome, absolutely awesome, if, you know, we could just motivate a few more people to help support what we do. You know, I hope you appreciate, you know, you won't see this information anywhere else, and you getting the opportunity to, you know, do what you want with this information. It's a rare event. Last time we went through an excursion 12,000 years ago. Before that, a completed reversal 780,000 years ago, and we are 500,000 years overdue. This is today here at our doorsteps, knocking. So don't take, you know, the great things that our world provides us so that we can thrive and survive, because we've seen other planets lose it. We're in a very unique time at the moment, and everything else is not significant. You know, the economy is not significant. You know, we can live without an economy. You know, we've been living for thousands of years without, you know, any technology, any economy or anything else. What I'm trying to say is none of this is important other than the fact that we are still able to thrive and survive. If we lose our magnetosphere permanently, everything across the range of biodiversity will perish on this planet. And it's on the cards. You have to realise it's on the cards. We are not out of the storm yet, guys. We're just entering it. So bear that in mind. Guys, I'm going to leave it here. that's the latest magnetic North Pole position for you. We'll be back again in a couple of weeks because we're doing it twice a month now, as was suggested by you guys. So we're going to do it twice a month so that we can monitor it closely as things begin to pick up. Link down there if you want to help support us. I really hope that we can beat what we did yesterday. We'll see. But until then, you know what, guys? I'll say what I usually do. You take care of your loved ones. As always. Bye for now.